Oh, I just can't get rid of him. Well, 9 years ago, Nigel Farage was instrumental in Britain leaving the European Union. And now the Brexit champion is apparently looking for new challenges. And he wants to look for it in the jungle of all places, where, in addition to daring tests, a tidy fee also awaits the politician. That means that the right-wing populist British ex-politician and Brexit campaigner Nigel Farage says he's considering taking part in the British jungle camp, as he told GB News, where he hosts a program himself. The former head of the UKIP party, who, as I said, played a key role in the British decision to leave the EU, wants a younger audience with an appearance on ITV's I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And according to The Sun, the offer should also be financially lucrative. This means a fee of up to £1 million. The tabloid reported on Friday that the deal would already be finalized. However, there was initially no official confirmation of this. The next season is scheduled to start on November 19th. Incidentally, the affair surrounding the termination of Brexit politician Farage's account resulted in major financial losses for former NatWest boss Alison Rose at the same time. So he gains money, she loses. Her behavior in the Farage scandal has resulted in former NatWest boss Alison Rose losing almost £8 million in financial losses. The major British bank has significantly reduced the bonuses and payments for the resigned CEO, as it announced on Friday. Rose will lose £4.7 million in restricted shares that were set aside as bonuses for her performance as CEO since 2019. This is because she does not have a good leaver status with her departure. In addition, the bank will not pay Rose other long-term compensation and bonuses for 2023 in the amount of £2.9 million. The manager was previously one of the highest paid bankers in the UK for years. In July, she fell over the scandal surrounding the politically motivated account termination of Brexit politician Nigel Farage, at least he says so. He was now satisfied that Rose's bonuses were being reduced. This is common sense. It would be a good decision for taxpayers, he wrote. NatWest was nationalized in the financial crisis and is still almost 40% owned by the Treasury. Farage told Sky News that what is now happening to Rose is the beginning of the end of woke culture in banking. The scandal surrounding terminations at NatWest subsidiary Coates has been stirring up a lot of dust for months. Rose herself admitted to a serious mistake in speaking to a BBC journalist about the case. And the board has now written that NatWest has not identified any wrongdoing. The Data Protection Authority recently apologized to Rose because it appeared that allegation of breaching data protection laws had been made against her personally. But let's recap quickly. In June 23, Nigel Farage, the big Brexit politician, announced that Coates, a private bank owned by NatWest, was closing his account. And Farage claimed that the closure was due to his political views, which he characterized as being anti-establishment and pro-Brexit. Farage's allegations sparked a public controversy and led to calls for an investigation into Coates' motives. NatWest initially denied that Farage's political views had played a role in the decision to close his account, but the bank later admitted that it had concerns about Farage's public statements and association with individuals or organizations that have expressed views contrary to their values, as they put it. The scandal deepened when it was revealed that Alison Rose, the CEO of NatWest, had discussed Farage's account with a BBC journalist. Rose admitted that she had made a serious error of judgment by discussing Farage's personal financial information with a third party, and she resigned from her position in July 2023. The Information Commissioner's Office, the ICO, the UK's data protection watchdog, launched an investigation into NatWest's handling of Farage's personal data. The ICO concluded that NatWest had breached the Data Protection Act by disclosing Farage's personal information to the BBC without his consent. The Coates account closure scandal raised concerns about the potential for banks to discriminate against customers based on their political views. And it also highlighted the importance of data protection and the need for banks to be transparent about their reasons for closing accounts. In October 23, Farage announced that he was suing NatWest for £10 million in damages over the closure of his account. And he also called for a class action lawsuit on behalf of other customers who had been debanked by NatWest or other banks. As you know, Nigel Farage is a British politician who has been a prominent figure in the Brexit movement. He is known for his populist rhetoric, which often appeals to emotion rather than reason. And some have argued that Farage's populist approach has allowed him to spread misinformation and falsehoods. For example, Farage also has repeatedly claimed that the UK sends £350 million per week to the European Union. This claim is based on a figure that was used in the 2016 Leave campaign leaflet, but is actually incorrect. The figure of £350 million per week is the UK's gross contribution to the EU budget from that time, which included money that was returned to the UK in form of subsidies and rebates and other payments. The actual net contribution was much, much lower. And Farage has also made false claims about immigration. For example, he has claimed that the UK is overwhelmed by immigration and that there are now millions of illegal immigrants living in the country. These claims are also inaccurate. The UK's immigration levels are actually relatively low by European standards, and I say that as a German especially, and the number of illegal immigrants in the country is estimated to be in the hundreds of thousands and not millions. Farage's use of misinformation and falsehoods has been criticized by many, including journalists, politicians, and academics. And some have argued that Farage's populist approach has contributed to a decline in public trust in politicians, but also the media. And others have argued that Farage's rhetoric has helped to create a climate of fear and intolerance in the UK. Whether or not Farage's populist approach has allowed him to spread misinformation and falsehood, some say is a matter of debate. I don't. I'm quite sure he does. However, it's clear that Farage is a skilled communicator who is able to connect with voters on an emotional level. And this ability has made him a powerful figure in British politics, and it's likely that he will continue to be a prominent voice in the Brexit debate for the years to come. But as you know, Nigel Farage was a member of the European Parliament from 1999 to 2020. He served as president of the UK Independence Party from 2009 to 2016 and again from 18 to 19. And Farage was a vocal critic of the European Union and campaigned for the UK to leave. He was a key figure in the Brexit campaign, which led to the UK voting to leave the EU in a referendum in 2016. And Farage's time in the EU Parliament was marked by controversy. He was accused of making racist and sexist remarks, and he was also investigated for misuse of EU funds. However, he remained a popular figure among many British voters who appreciated his outspoken criticism of the EU. Farage's salary as an MEP was around €100,000 per year, and he is also entitled to an EU pension, which is estimated to be worth around €80,000 per year. And so he also earned money from speaking engagement and book sales. And in 2018, Farage's salary was docked by the EU Parliament to recoup misspent funds, and he was also ordered to repay €40,000 in misused funds. Farage has been criticized for his handling of EU funds. In 2017, he was investigated by the EU Parliament for misusing funds to pay for his party's political activities. The investigation found that Farage indeed had misused €40,000 of EU funds. Farage has denied any wrongdoing, but he was ordered to repay the funds. And he was also docked 50% of his salary for 6 months. Farage's handling of EU funds has been criticized by many, including the EU Parliament itself. And the Parliament has said that Farage's actions were unacceptable and that he had broken the rules. But Farage just defended his actions, saying that he was simply trying to get the best deal for Britain. However, his critics have accused him of being dishonest and of abusing his position as an MEP. The controversy over Farage's handling of EU funds is likely to continue because he will never give in, but he said that he will not be intimidated by the EU, and he has vowed to continue to fight for what he believes is right. But that shows what kind of person Farage is. And the biggest Brexit benefit I found until today. The EU Parliament does not have to deal with Nigel Farage anymore. If that isn't a Brexit benefit, I don't know what is. And if you want to see something else right now, the next video is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.